Ciao everyone. My name is Paola, and my lovely guest this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Some of you,
For
it's
some of
evening
you.
for us. Is Monica Cesarato.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you all. It's so many of you. My God.
And many of you already know me. I'm an art historian, and I'm based in Florence. So I was just thinking, as I was getting ready for the interview with Monica, that I actually make a big mistake to talk about art history, because if we talk about food, there is great food and great wine. So I'm so glad we're doing this, Monica, and thank you so much for saying yes.
Okay, first of all, cicchetti.
Cicchetti, darling.
We start that way. Okay. And thank you for inviting me. And it's my first Zoom as an interviewee. I usually do the interviews, so it feels a bit weird to be on the other side. I'm actually excited.
Well, feel welcome.
Okay.
I have easy questions coming up, and I do have to start this interview by saying that in 2020, when we were in the deepest of the lockdown in Italy, and everyone was kind of, borderline depressed, Monica wrote to me and she said, Paola, would you talk to me live on Instagram? We'll talk about your life in Florence. And I thought, okay, I've never done an interview on Instagram, a live interview.
Oh, actually,
and I did it.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
So we're having full circle because tonight we are not on Zoom, but we'll actually be talking about Monica's life in Venice and something that I'm very, very excited for, Monica's new book.
Yes, that has been in the making for 12 years. So and it's only a little book, but when they say dreams come true, they do come true if you work hard enough. I think. It's I'm very happy. It's a book about cicchetti, what we're going to be talking tonight about the food of Venice.
But before we go to the book, Monica, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so as they asked me to describe myself in the book, I'm a food blogger, first of all. I'm a food critic for a magazine in Venice. So I go around, very lucky, I go around tasting and testing over restaurants in Venice of all types. I do cooking classes, so I teach Venetian cooking. I do food tours, that's actually what I do the most. So I do cicchetti tours, I do coffee and chocolate tours, I do cake and chocolate tours. And I'm also social media manager, and I organize events. And now I'm a writer, actually. Okay, so I can add that to the list of things. But everything to do with food.
I think we're going to have to put your microphone closer because
hold on.
The group, we are actually here in one of the Venetian cicchetti places, favorite one of Monica. And there are people who are just getting louder and louder as the evening is going.
And we're going to shout. Okay.
Yes. So a lot of background noise is from people who are in the room next door, okay?
Yeah. Because it's raining and everybody poured in. Usually they're outside, but it's pouring down with rain right now, so everybody's going to drink. So that's why. It's Saturday night, as you can imagine.
So where are we? There's a question. Where are we now?
Okay, so we are actually in the area of Cannaregio. So Venice, I don't know if Paola has already told you, but Venice is divided in 6 areas. We have the districts of Venice, and they're called sestiere from sei, number 6 in Venetian. This is the sestiere of Cannaregio. It's one of the most residential and the second, I think, extended district. And we are in a typical cicchetti place in a bacaro. This particular one is called Cantina Aziende Agricole. It's just outside the Jewish ghetto. This is one of the historic places of Venice. We know for sure he's been here for at least 50 years. We know he was here before that, but we don't have actually the papers confirming it, but we know because of course, from hearsay and stuff like that. But we know for sure he was here for at least 50 years, and it was run by the same family for 50 years. About 3 years ago, it was taken over by somebody else, with the understanding that they couldn't change anything. So they could buy. Well, they were allowed to buy it, but by contract, it was in the contract that the new owners had to keep it as it was. So they could do some little modification, but they couldn't change the soul of the place. So they had to keep the same type of cicchetti and just add more. They had to keep the same wines and add more. They could do some changes to the furnitures and stuff, but add, not take away or not get rid of it. And that made it possible. So the Venetian clientele that used to come still comes. So there's a lot of Venetian old men coming and drinking and so on. And it made it possible to keep the soul of his place. You know, it is really a place where, yes, tourists come, but mainly Venetians come to drink here. And, you know, you see the old guys coming with a little drink and walk away.
So I'm gonna put this in the chat, okay? Because I see people are asking where we are. So Cantina
Aziende Agricole. They will find.
So it doesn't really have like a fancy name at all, right?
That's the name. Yeah, that's the name of the name of the place, and it's on Google Maps, so it's easy to find as well.
And you know, we're at the area of the ghetto, which is always kind of a less touristy than most of the places, and the food in the area is absolutely incredible.
And what's very interesting is this place is on a corner in a really nice area, but everybody goes at the back of where we are on Fondamento degli Ormesini, because there are all the happy hour places. So you go there and it's packed. You come here, it's busy, but not bad busy, as you know what I'm saying. So you go like 50 meters down the road and it's full of drunk people and stuff like that. Here is always pleasant. You know, it's more a place for coming and enjoy. Yeah. Enjoy it. You know, those few people that I saw that are following us that had the opportunity to come here with me, they probably can confirm it is a very nice, easy place to be. And the food is amazing and very cheap too.
So Monica, tell us about the food and tell us about what is cicchetti.
Okay, so first I'll show you what they are, and then I'll tell you what they are. So cicchetti is the typical Venetian snack that we have usually in the evening before aperitif, or even before lunch sometimes. The words come from cicum in Latin, that means a small quantity, because they are tiny little things. And it's something the Venetian used to have to go with what we call ombra, that is a small glass of wine. But you notice there is a difference, okay? Because this is, I think, is half of a quarter of a liter, okay, as in size. And usually in Venice, ombra. So I'll give you a little preview from the book. The legend goes that it's called ombra because the Venetians used to stand in St. Mark's Square to sell the wine. To keep the wine cool, they used to move the stove with the shade of a church tower. So they used to say, andiamo a bere all'ombra del campanile. Let's go and drink in the shade of a church tower. As the years went by,
talk loud and
okay, even louder.
Even louder, slower.
Yeah. Oh well, slower. No, forget it. I don't talk slower. I can talk louder. And then you go the recording anyway. So they used to move the stove with the shade of a church tower. So Venetia used to say, andiamo a bere all'ombra del campanile. Let's go and drink in the shade of a church tower. This is only a legend. The actual size was given by a professor that was known all over Venice. He was a very good drinker, let's say, and he called the best size because this is a particular size of glass, very small, so it's a shade of something, a shade of nothing, because it's, you know, and pretty soon all of the bars of Venice took it as a measurement. So this is only typical of Venice. Nowhere else outside of Venice we call the wines like that. Usually you call it a glass of wine and that's it.
True.
Okay. True. And usually when you go into these places, you order an ombra and you order a cicchetto to go with it, because, you know, otherwise you get drunk. In Venice, we do tend to drink a lot, much more than every other region in Italy. I think they call us the Irish of Italy, not to upset any Irish people, but they do call us the Irish of Italy, and because we do drink a lot. And so otherwise, if you drink a lot, you get drunk. So in Veneto and in Venice particular, every time you drink a glass of wine, you always have something to eat. But if you eat something big, then the siesta, you know, you start the digestion, you want to go to sleep. This is the way for you not to get drunk and enjoy yourself.
Yes, yeah, okay. This morning, I was starting my day at 10 a.m. I ordered a cappuccino at the bar, and the family came in next to me. A husband and wife and 2 kids, and it's only 10 o'clock in the morning, and the husband looked at the wife and he told her, I think I will have a spritz. And she kind of looked him back, and I thought she would say, no way, you know, it's only 10.
No, she went, oh, can I have one too?
She said, yes, if you're going to have one, I'm going to have one too. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know,
absolutely. Yeah.
my cappuccino, and for them, it's already time to have a drink.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, by the way, I noticed that somebody mentioned Tucci. Actually, Tucci.
Stanley Tucci.
Yes, okay. So Tucci didn't film here. He filmed next door, but he came to drink here. So he filmed next door, but then he came here to have his drink with all the, you know, with all the TV crew and everything. So yes, Stanley Tucci was here, but not for filming. Somebody else came and filmed, but I can't tell you who, because it's a secret.
Really?
When it will be out, it will be out. And I'm in it as well, so that's fine.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, but I can't say.
So Monica, tell us about your book.
Okay, so
the book is not in English yet.
No, yeah, but it will be. It will be.
Okay.
It will be. So I'm in the middle of translating it. So just give me a chance to finalize it and then send it off to the printers and stuff. It's coming out in Italian next Saturday. It's going to be in all the major of newspapers in the Veneto region, and then it's going to be available on Amazon and on the bookshops. And the English book will be available in the local bookshops in Venice, and then I assume around Italy, and definitely on Amazon. It's a book that came to my mind about, I started doing the cicchetti tour. I'm actually the first in Venice that started doing the cicchetti tours in 2008. There was just another big company that was doing it, but they didn't do it the way I do it. It was, well, let's say for them, it was more about pub crawling. Okay. For me, it was more about teaching people how to drink and eat in Venice. So order the right food, order the right wine. So when I started doing my tour, in my head, I was thinking, no, I need to write a book. And so 12 years ago, I started to jot it down. But, you know, I'm not a writer. I'm a food blogger. So it was like, it'll never get published. So I kind of, and it was there, sitting. And then last year, May last year, I met a very famous Venetian journalist. I was interviewing her for her new book that was coming out about the Venetian theater in Venice and fire and so on. And while we were talking, I mentioned my book, and she said to me, "Oh, my editor is looking for a book like that." And I went, "Yeah, okay." I said, "Do you want me to get into Polo?" And I went, "Yeah, okay." And he actually did. And we met. He liked the idea of the book, the way I wanted to do it. And from there, it just happened. So he's a mix between a cookbook and a guidebook, because you will find recipes. There's about 45 recipes. You will find itineraries, or where to go in Venice, divided by areas and also by length. So if you want to do just an afternoon, if you want to do a whole day, if you only want to go and visit two. But there is also the history of cicchetti, and also an explanation of why you should drink Veneto wines, because a lot of people don't actually know that in the Veneto region, we're the biggest producer of wine in Italy. We have got more than 40 red native grapes and more than 40 white native grapes. 40 that are only grown in the Veneto region and nowhere else in the world. So, and a lot of people come over and ask for Tuscan wines, and we don't understand. And we go, "Excuse me, why don't you want to try?" you know, like for example, tonight she's having prosecco, because of course you got to have prosecco, but I'm having what we call raboso, that you can see. It looks like it's a sparkling wine, but it's not. So this is naturally fermented wine. This is one of the oldest wine from our region. Goes back to before the Roman. It's only grown in the Veneto region. And raboso comes from the word rabbioso in Venetian, that means angry, because it is slightly fermented naturally, and it's got a little of a peppery taste. And back in the old days, until about 30, 40 years ago, it was very sour as well. But it's a red wine that usually served chilled. That is strange for a red wine, because as you know, usually you don't. But so this is a kind of, I wanted, people to understand that there is so much more than to Venice and to the Veneto region that people actually know. And, I thought a book like mine could be an idea to,
So the book has Your favorite cicchetti places?
Oh yes, so it's about 35, and I know it's gonna come out. When it's gonna come out, it's gonna be from the Venetian. Oh, you didn't put this, you didn't put that. The selection came from experience. So the majority of all of the places that are various places that I've been going, and it's not just a question of the quality of the food. For me, it was a question of the quality of the wines and also the quality of service. Some of the places around are really good. They are even new, they're very good, but the service maybe is not up to the way I think it should be, or it's not constant. You know, you go one day and the food is good, and you go the day after and it's not so good. So for me, it was a choice, and it's a personal choice. You know, there's hundreds of places in Venice, so you know, couldn't prove them all. So for me, it was the best ones for me. Okay, so
yeah. And then you're so kind to actually give us the recipes so that people can make cicchetti at home, which is the best thing ever.
Yeah, well, our food, it actually works three ways, we realized. You can make it before coming to Venice, if you can find the ingredients, of course. It also gives you an idea what the food is like in Venice, but not only that, if you're going around Venice with a book, many times when you go in the cicchetti place, it will be in Italian. The recipe will be there, so you know exactly what is in the recipe, and if it's something that you might appreciate or not. So you don't have to say, oh my God, do I like it or don't I like it? Oh, look, the bacala mantecato is this. Oh yeah, I want to try that. So, and then you can replicate it back at home.
Yeah. Somebody's asking if the name of the wine, and it's Raboso.
Raboso, Raboso.
Thank you, Martino, for putting it in. And then also your email in the chat. I
will
we
put all over.
Yes, we will put in the website at the end, so you guys stick around. And the way to contact Monica too, because I think she's one of the best guides to really visit Venice with. If
food, I only do food, so you know, I don't do art, I only do food. Now it needs to be very clear because people don't understand that you know this. In Italy, we're very specific on this. Art, monuments, you need to go with a professional guide. That's what they studied for many, many years. I work with a lot of them, as in when people write to me and ask me, oh, can you do a tour of the Basilica? No, this is the person that you need to call. Okay, not me. I do food. Okay, I just do food.
But Monica, as someone who lives here, who's a local, what would be the advice, you know, to tell people how can we visit Venice responsibly? Because it is such a special, very fragile place.
Yes. So I was telling you before the last week I did a conference that if you got the time, guys, you will find it online pretty soon. At the Ruskin St. George's Guild.
Why don't you put it in the chat?
Okay, I'll write it after, remind me. Okay.
Yeah.
They live on YouTube, and it was very interesting. It was a whole day conference where we talked, it was Voices of Venice, where we talked to people from all walks of life in Venice. We talk about the, the problems of Venice and what we can do about it. And in my case, I explained that I think what we need to go back to is studying, educate people. And this is something that everybody can do, not just journalists, bloggers, even amongst friends. So before coming to Venice, research. The material is there. Stay away from the sites that give you 5 things to do in Venice, because it means these people that's never been to Venice generally, because it's always the same kind of stuff. Go to blogs, go to books like Frommer's or Lonely Planet or The Rough Guide, and so on. Do your research. Venice is not just St. Mark's and Rialto. It's much more than that. I was telling her, she knows. We got more than 100 churches. We got more than 40 between museum, art galleries, and exhibitions. There are experiences that you can do. You can do cooking classes, you can do rowing, you can do mask making. There are hundreds of artisans that need the support, because people think of Venice is dying. Venice is not dying. There's been the wrong narrative from the journalist point of view. I think that they always want to make it gloomy and doomy in Venice, but we're not. We're really fighting, and it's true. We're losing 1,000 people a year as an inhabitant, but that's another story. but the city is thriving. You can hear from a noise there. Okay, this is not tourists, this is locals, because the tourists are going on because it was pouring down with rain. So this is locals coming in. The city is thriving, and there's so much to do. So research and try to come to Venice and do things that are akin to what you like. So if you like art, do art. But if you don't like art, you can do so much more, okay? And try to spend more than 2 nights. Venice really deserves at least 4 nights, in my opinion, if you want to do it properly. Okay. And I know that some people out there that agree with me because they keep coming over and over and over and finding new things to do.
And you know what's interesting? I mean, just this weekend that I'm here, there's so much happening. One example of something extraordinary. Well, there are too many extraordinary things. So maybe just to say in order that they're important to me, an exhibition opened yesterday night at the Guggenheim Museum about surrealism and magic. So you have Peggy Guggenheim's own home, now directed by her own granddaughter. And it's really beautiful exhibition. The most important surrealist art from around the world is now, in Venice. In about 2 weeks' time, they will be opening the Biennale. And Biennale this year is about surrealism, actually. So I think it's in the time that we are in such deep problems around the world, such depressing times everywhere. Surrealist artists, when they started the movement in 1920s, they were actually really thinking about the world of magic and how the magic and thinking about something that is other reality can help us stay sane in these crazy times. So exhibition will be the Guggenheim until the end of September. Then they opened Procuratie Nuove.
I haven't seen Vecchie.
Vecchie?
Yeah, I haven't even seen them yet because they only opened yesterday. But I need to go. So
after 500 years.
Yes.
So basically that stretch that you see in Piazza San Marco, from that beautiful tower of the clock all the way to the Museum Correr, it used to be Generali Insurance, right?
It still is, but they decided to open it to the public. Yeah.
So there will be exhibition spaces. There will be all kind of, how many? 12,000 square meters.
It's huge. Amazing. And it's on so many floors. It's incredible. It's beautiful. Palazzo Fortuny. But I got to say, oh my God.
I just went
yesterday. I saw the pictures. Oh my God.
If you follow me on Instagram, check it out. I made video, I put reels, I went crazy.
You did as well. It's amazing because before what's happening with Palazzo Fortuny was the home of Mariano Fortuny. Mariano Fortuny is a famous designer of the
textiles.
The dress. What's it called? Help me out, the people that know about it. It's this particular style of dress, but it was also a theater recreated designer. It was Mariano Fortuny was eclectic, and he was also a big collector of art because his parents were painters. But until 2019, the museum was good, but it was very dark. So beautiful stuff, but horribly displayed. You went there and the stuff was there, but
depressing.
You couldn't really see everything because it was very dark, because they covered the window with the fabrics. So during the Acqua Alta in November, it got really damaged. So they had to do something about it. So that was the time when they decided, okay, let's go wild and let's redo it. And it's become a permanent museum. So it's not just before it was only open certain times for certain exhibition. Now it's a permanent museum, and they got rid of the fabric on the windows, and all of a sudden, whoa, all the lights. And I walked in, and I've been there many times before this, and all of a sudden I was going like, I don't remember that thing. Oh, they had that. And I think a room where they did all the frescoes,
like a lemonaia.
Oh my God, I could sleep there. I could just go and stay there. It's so relaxing.
So the museum is Palazzo Fortuny. I'll put it in the chat. And you really get to see a man who was so talented in so
both
many
him
ways.
And his wife,
and you can imagine their life there. You can imagine them sitting with their friends and hanging out. Absolutely wonderful. Of course, then Palazzo Ducale. Venice really has so much to offer.
Palazzo Grimani. Palazzo Grimani just got about 6 months ago, a year ago, during lockdown, they got back all of the statues that were at the corner and they
Yes.
put them back in, and it's become amazing. And there are places that not many people go to. So while you go to San Marco and you have got to queue for 2 hours to go inside, when you go to Palazzo Grimani, Palazzo Fortuny, many other smaller museums, nobody goes there. I mean, Carezzonico, Capesaro, you never queue. And they are beautiful places, beautiful places. So.
And Palazzo Grimani, Toto Bergamo Rossi, who curated the exhibition, was actually my guest on Studiolo.
Okay.
So I will maybe pop that in, recording of that, and recording of other Venetian interviews, Alberto Toccaferri.
Oh yeah, of course.
So you can really get your download on Venice from these incredible people. And can you guys hear me? I'm so sorry that it's giving us trouble.
Live.
And the people are just getting louder and louder here.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, is this a little bit better if I do it like that? I hope, is it better? Maybe just give me a little nod or something. Okay, I think we have to lean in, okay?
Okay, I'm leaning in.
You're
gonna see all my wrinkles. I'm gonna go like this then. Okay.
But yes, I think it's really interesting to just think of Venice, and there is so much to go beyond San Marco, beyond Palazzo Ducale.
And
Yes.
this you can only understand if you read about Venice and not just on blogs, but from books. I repeat, for me, okay, we have a saying in Italian, in Venetian actually, in Venetian it goes, viaggiare il mondo descanta, ma se ti parti mona, te torni mona. But it means traveling the world opens your mind, but if you leave as an idiot, you come back as an idiot. But it means that you can travel to any place in the world, but if you don't get there with certain preparation, you just don't get it, and you don't appreciate where you are, and you miss things, because you can arrive in. Just to give you an example, what happened to somebody I met once, they said to me, Venice is so modern and horrible. At which I looked at this person a bit like, excuse me. Turns out that she actually got off at the wrong train station. Instead of getting off at Venice Santa Lucia in the center, she got off at Mestre.
Oh my goodness.
All she saw was a modern building. She thought that was Venice. She took a train and went back home. So this is because she didn't do a research. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Oh, you want? No, let's not say no, because it's something about something else. In the book, there are other type of sayings. It's not in the book.
Well, think of Marco Polo.
Yeah.
I mean, he travels the world. He sees a modern world to the, highest of the modernity at the time, and comes back to recount the story. I mean, Venice, just travelers.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everyone who is with us today has been to Florence and Rome and many other Italian cities, but Venice has such a different feeling.
Yeah.
And I think
it's unique.
It's really unique. And I think people in the world are divided into two groups, those that love Florence and those that love Venice. And you have to ask yourself, which group do you belong to? I really love them both.
Well, you can like them both.
Yeah,
They're just different.
Yes.
It's just a different, you have to understand that the history of Venice is totally different from the history of Florence. This is a country, because Venice was a country. There was a republic for 1600 years, never under the control of the Pope, but directly or indirectly. There is a Venetian saying that's not in the book that says prima Veneziani e poi Cristiani, first Venetians and then Christians. That shows you the attitude of the Republic of Venice, when instead Florence was much more controlled by the church. And this also makes a difference in the way we behave, in how we build things, and Venice was a city of merchants, while instead Florence was a city of mecenati, aristocrats. Venetians had the aristocrats, but they were not aristocrats born. They were aristocrats made out of making money as merchants. So it was a different way of thinking as well. So, like, for example, Florence used art to show the power. Venice was using trade to show his power. Different concept.
And when you do go to San Marco, I mean, it was really just a private chapel for the Doge of Venice.
Exactly.
It was like he would be in this golden cage, which is Palazzo Ducale, and then he would go for the mass to San Marco. And I love that the only gift any foreign ambassador could actually give to Dojo Venice was the rose water.
Mm.
You know, this beautiful rose water, which I don't know if you ever tried one, but I love rose waters and I collect them around the world. But you know, this kind of tells you there was really no way to have any secret meetings or any letters, you know, passed on to him. So truly a different place. And I think also just the architecture. You know, when you think about Florence in medieval times or even really Renaissance, it's all about these really fortified structures. And in Venice, what is in the Grand Canal are these beautiful open windows and beautiful Gothic facades, because of course the city was so safe. So anyway, there's so much to explore, but I think we went in a whole different direction now to food.
Let's go back to food.
Let's go back to food. She was really.
Oh yeah, she was looking at me. She was going, "Can I try some while you talk?"
They smell so good.
What to do? Okay, so you eat and I'll tell them about.
Oh my God, I don't want to eat because I cannot offer to anyone. I'm going to sacrifice myself.
She's gonna sacrifice. So while you eat, I'll explain about Venetian cooking. Why it's so different from other regional cooking. So let me explain what she's having. So this is butternut squash, bacon, cheese, and potato. Mashed together and then deep fried. Where you have butternut squash with taleggio cheese and poppy seeds, burrata, no, mozzarella with tomatoes and eggplant, what's it called, aubergine, and then mortadella with pistachio and gorgonzola. So I don't know, you go.
I feel so bad because we cannot offer it.
Well, they can wait a month to buy the book and then they can make it at home.
Yes, true.
Some of these recipes are in there, so it's fine.
I think I'm gonna try this one.
Go for it.
This looks just absolutely amazing.
You missed all of it.
I know. Yeah, I'll get there. Okay.
So I'll just want to quickly for you to understand the difference of Venetian cooking from the other regions of Italy, because Venice was exactly a city, a port. There's been much more influence also in the food. So first of all, you have to remember the Venetians were here way before the Romans. They were the Veneti in the lagoon and in the areas, and they had their own style of cooking. Of course, once the Roman came, the story goes that they built, between the Romans and the Veneti, they built Venice when they escaped from the barbarians. But the problem with Venice was that because we're talking about before this Venice, so I'm talking about small huts and little inlets, because in the middle of a lagoon, the solver was, they couldn't grow anything, so they could only live off what the lagoon was offering, fish. Nothing else. Venetian became very good at producing salt. Okay, so they became very good at trading that. Okay, but they couldn't grow anything. So at the beginning, Venetian food was basic. But then Venice started to become powerful. And what they did, connection is unstable. Okay, what did they do? They started to import goods from other countries. And by other countries, I mean first the mainland and then really other countries. Venice became a hub, so everything that arrived from the east stopped in Venice and then went to the west and so on, and vice versa. So everything that was coming into Venice as a good to be traded was also inserted in the cuisine, because Venetian merchants understood something that everybody nowadays does. You want to sell something, you got to show you how to use it. So if I'm importing cinnamon, I need to show you how to use cinnamon. So they put into cooking. I want to use chili, I want to use curry, I want to use pepper. Good, I need to show you how to use it. So pretty soon, the cuisine of Venice start to use the birds of the lagoon, the fish of the lagoon, the vegetables from the Sant'Erasmo, from the mainland, from Cavallino, Treporti, so all the areas surrounding the city of Venice. So Venetian cooking wasn't just anymore about fish. It was about amazing vegetables. It was about using a lot of meat. Very interesting. In the 1700s, everybody thinks that in Venice we ate fish. Well, they didn't. Only poor people ate fish. Rich people only ate meat. That's why they suffered from gout. Okay. This is actually
Medici family had that problem in Florence as well.
If you read any of the Goldoni plays, we'll tell you about that. The recipes is not about fish; it's all about meat. The fish is when it talks about the poor people. And eating fish in Venice is something recently new. That is due, unfortunately, thank you to you tourists. Back in the 60s, 70s, the people that were coming into Venice from maybe staying in Jesolo area start to ask to eat fish, because of course they're saying, well, we are in a port city, we want to eat fish. So unfortunately, something that didn't happen thankfully in Tuscany, Venetian being merchants, the restaurant people were merchants. So instead of saying to the tourists, now look, our tradition is to eat these dishes, they wanted to please the tourists. So pretty soon meat disappeared from the menu, unless you're like liver, tagliatella veneziana, but they start serving only fish. So in the mind of all the tourists coming to Venice now is, in Venice they eat fish. It's a new thing. If you look back at 100 years ago, 200 years ago, we didn't eat that much fish, but other things. So in fact, in my book, I didn't just put fish cicchetti, I put a lot of meat cicchetti and I put a lot of vegetable cicchetti.
Brava.
Okay, because I thought it was only fair to write also some of the recipes that are slowly disappearing, but they should be tried. Obviously, fish is amazing in Venice. We have, it's so fresh because it comes from the lagoon. The sardines are amazing here, the anchovies, the sea bass and sea bream. But it's not just about that. It's a relatively new cuisine. Another thing that you're probably going to say to me, some of you that maybe have been to Venice before, is, oh, but in Venice, you don't eat that well, you get ripped off. You couldn't be more wrong. This used to
Depends where you go.
This used to be until 15 years ago. If you said that to me 15 years ago, I would have said you're totally right. But 15 years ago, me and other people start talking about the real cuisine of Venice. And because of that, because things are changing and internet and people are changing, even restaurants have changed. So when instead 15 years ago, I would have said 80% of restaurants were for tourists and 20 for locals. I think now we swapped. It's gone more and more high quality restaurant and less very touristic. So stay away from the Rialto area. And I mean, not the area, I mean literally by the Rialto Bridge and the canal there. There's like a 200-meter worth of restaurants. Stay away from those because they are touristic. Go outside, go anywhere, and you will find more and more real traditional food at a good price. Of course, in Venice, things cost more because just to rent a place is 3 times more than any other place in Italy. So the cost of running a place is more expensive in Venice. But you can still eat well. Like, for example, where we are now, this glass of wine is 2 euros. A cicchetti is 2 euros.
Someone said they can't see the cicchetti.
Oh, yeah, we do it
so
again.
close to, let's see
Okay.
if we can maybe
Okay.
do
That was the reason why we weren't to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
this is amazing. Tell us again, what is this again?
So this is butternut squash, taleggio cheese and poppy seeds. This is the eggplant with mozzarella, burrata, I can't remember, and tomatoes. You have the mortadella with gorgonzola cheese and pistachio, and the one that you like, that is in the book, this recipe, and is butternut squash, bacon, cheese, potato mashed together and deep fried.
So how,
as you can see, no fish.
How easy are these to make at home? As long as you have
Very
the right
easy.
ingredients.
Okay, so in the book, I made sure that there were recipes that can be easily replicated. Some recipe I realized that it will be near impossible because you won't be able to get the the ingredients, but you can replicate them when you come to Venice. So, if you rent an apartment, then you can cook. But
don't.
Let's say,
I mean, if you do come to Venice, please don't cook in your apartment.
No.
For God's sake.
Oh no, cook me, then I'll cook for them. Why no? They can cook in the apartment. It's a good experience to go to the Rialto market.
That's true.
And get the fishermen, get the vegetable stalls to give you some recipe to try. I think it's a good experience to do it.
Talking about Rialto market, I think, the fish and everything that was really easily to find in the lagoon is disappearing, right? There were so many types of fish that would be offered and
No, it depends.
20 years ago.
No, the fishery is still okay. It's mainly the birds and stuff that disappears. No, the fish is still there. It's just you also have to remember the season that you come, because twice a year for 1 month at a time, they close the Adriatic Sea. You cannot fish.
Really?
So
When
if you
is
can,
this?
to allow the fish to be reborn, to
replicate.
Yeah, to replicate. So if you come in a certain period, you will not be able to find. You will still find sardines as baklava, but you will not find sea bass and sea bream because they got to allow it. It's called fermo tosta. It's one in winter, one in summer. It's called fermo pesca. Usually you can. One I think is around. I can't remember if it's July or August, and the other one I cannot remember when in winter. So you still find the fish, but it's not from the it's not from the lagoon. But it only happens one period at a time. So it happens in Mediterranean. It's the same thing on your side in Adriatic. Oh yeah, no, on Mediterranean. We do exactly the same thing. So usually, when the Adriatic is closed, you can still fish in Mediterranean, and vice versa. The way you can still get from the Mediterranean. Okay.
So the question came in: is cicchetti same as tapas in Spain?
No,
for goodness
sake. So they were born more or less the same time, but for two different reasons. As far as I know, first of all, tapas is not Spain. Tapas is certain part of Spain. Let's get this clear. And as far as I know, they were born because when they were selling the wine, they had a problem with the heat. So there were a lot of mosquitoes and flies. So they used to put on top of a glass a plate, and on top of a plate something to eat. And tapas tends to be much bigger than cicchetti. Cicchetti was born for a totally different reason. It's a bit too long to explain you now. You'll need to buy the book when it comes out. But they were born for different reasons and also in different time scales. So yeah, kind of, but not the same. Okay.
So tell us about the book. So the book comes out on the 16th, correct?
In Italy comes out. So the Italian version comes out on the 16th, and I reckon that the day after it should be available on Amazon.
And it will be with all the major magazines.
So if you are if you are in the Veneto region, you can buy with all the major local Veneto newspaper.
I love this tradition. I don't know if they do this in other parts of the world, but you have your local newspaper, and then you pay a little bit more, and you get a book. I think it's so cool.
I know. It's amazing.
And people collect them. The collane.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very good because, of course, you get bigger audience and maybe you wouldn't reach anyway. But then the English one, I'm not so sure when it'll be out, but I'm gonna push my editor to it for May, but I will be out with my blog telling everybody. So if you start following me on my social media, you'll know when it's coming out.
Monica, isn't President Obama
following me on Twitter?
President Obama is following Monica on Twitter.
I nearly added, I thought it was a fake, but it was really him.
It's really him.
Yes.
So maybe he'll be making cicchetti at home soon.
Oh my God. Michelle. Oh my God. Well, by the way, talking about Michelle Obama, next door. Yeah. So where Stanley Tucci was filming, he actually went there because Michelle Obama buys the sauces from this place next door.
Interesting.
So small world.
The power of Venice still selling the spices around the world.
Absolutely.
Venetian.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it was so nice. Oh yes, what is the name of the newspaper the book is coming out from? Is it Veneto?
So okay, if you are in Venice, sorry, what's the name of the newspaper? Okay, so if you are in the Venice province, is La Nuova Venezia. If you are in Treviso, La Tribuna di Treviso, I think it is. If you're in Padova, Il Mattino di Padova. And if you wait a second, I'll tell you because my editor sent me the list, so I can tell you. Just 1 second.
So it's really staying in the Venetian region, that's for sure.
For sure. But I think he was mentioning to me that maybe he wants to do it with the Corriere, but I think it depends on, yeah. But you will find it in the bookshops in Venice, but definitely on Amazon. It's already on Amazon at the moment. It's just, you cannot book it, buy it yet, but it's already on Amazon. If you type Andar per bacari, is on Amazon already, so then you can keep an eye. And I will convince my editor to keep the name Andar per bacari even in English, because to be honest with you, I have got no clue how to translate it. Yeah. So I think I'll leave it in Italian with a nice subtitle that is, I think it was, we decided for history, recipes, and itineraries amongst ombre cicchetti in Venice.
Nice.
Good, so it's clear and it tells what it is. So, okay.
Well, Monica, it's been really great to sit down with you to share this glass of ombra. And even, well, mine is actually not ombra, right?
Yeah.
It's,
No, you're
mine
having
is
a prosecco. She's having a proper glass of wine.
proper glass of prosecco. But to talk about the book, I wish we can kind of go around and just show this
but
place.
we can't. Sorry.
I'm afraid to kind of move around because we might lose the internet, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not so sure people want to be filmed anyway.
Oh, yes, you're right. I mean, the privacy of all the Venetians who are drinking their
well, also because you don't know if the husband is here with his wife or somebody else.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Or the wife is out with somebody else. So you know, just in case.
So we're gonna just keep it. We're gonna sit here in our corner. But I wanted to say thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's my first interview, so it's just so cool. Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm ready for TV now. I want my TV show. I wanna be the next Julia Child.
First Paola and then Rai Uno, right?
Oh my God. No, forget about it. I wanna do America.
Proper, like BBC or
BBC, CNN, or something like that.
Yes, I wanted to say if you have any questions, please come on and just ask Monica. She'll be happy to answer. We can take a few questions before we head out in this incredibly windy and
wet,
stormy weather in Venice. Everything kind of flipped in the last part of the afternoon. Patti would like to know what Monica thinks of Domori.
It's in the book because, well, first of all, I got two things about say about Domori. First is the oldest baccaro in Venice.
Wow.
So he had to go. If whatever I wanted or not, I had to put it. But apart from that, I got to say they were really, really nice. Some of the pictures that you see in the book, I took there of a cicchetti because I thought is probably of all the bacari, being the oldest, is also the one that you step in and it feels like setting back in the 1400s. It is amazing. And the cicchetti are very good. And they still do lots of real traditional cicchetti. And by traditional, I mean the easy one, because you have to understand, like all the food in Venice, rightly so, since it's happened for centuries, food is evolving, so cicchettis are evolving. So the original cicchetti would have been an egg with an anchovy on top, or maybe an artichoke part. Now we're all about fancy crostini, this and that. Okay, it's nice that in the book you will find some contemporary osteria, but also the traditional one, so you get to try them both. And Domori, you cannot get more traditional than Domori, and it's cheap too. It's so cheap and it's very good, so I like it. Yes, it's got my 100% opinion.
Yes, it was very interesting. In Hawaii, any finger food, snack, or appetizers are called pupus.
Oh, pupu in Indonesian means poo. I'm not gonna tell you what it means. Doesn't sound good in Italian.
Anyways, definitely I will share all of your contacts with those who gathered with us tonight, and the recording will be available on YouTube, so you can watch this again before your trip to Venice. Any other questions or comments? Mike, what's your favorite secret spot in Venice? Can I ask you that?
No, because then it's my secret spot.
Oh my God, yes. Well,
no,
okay,
okay, depends. Okay, so so it depends on budget and on what I need to do. So if it's about cicchetti, this and another place is called Sbarleffo. El Sbarleffo.
Can you put it in, or is it
yeah, I don't know. I better write it for you because it's in Venetian. So it's got. Oh yes, go for it. Because they do a very particular drink that is called a cinico, and it's a cocktail made with prosecco, lime, mint, and cinnamon liquor.
Oh my!
And
gosh.
The cicchetti, probably the best baccalà mantecato in town.
This is where we met actually last time.
Yes, exactly.
And we tried a special cocktail.
Yes, exactly.
And
so you know what I mean.
I barely made it to my hotel that night.
So now you know what I mean. Okay, exactly. So these two are my cicchetti of the heart places. Now, if I got to go and eat a very, very fancy meal, there's two places. Zanze, that just won a 1-star Michelin. I went there before they won the star and it's really good. I really like it because it's Venetian food, but in a very contemporary style, very well presented and amazing stuff, really knowledgeable stuff, very nice. And not stuffy at all, they're very easy. So it's a very truly nice, enjoyable experience. And another place that I really, really like, because it's the only place in Venice that does historic cuisine, And by historic cuisine, I mean cuisine from the 1400s, from the 1300s. So those kind of recipes, Renaissance and stuff like that, is Bistro de Venise. That is fine dining. But I had a meal about about a month ago there with another very famous TV chef, and she was blown away, and so was I. But mainly because they do historic cuisine, and I like the history of cuisine. So for me, it's like going there. And then for a cocktail, a brand new place that I got to say is a bit off-putting for the color, but the staff is so friendly. And I know you're gonna look at me thinking, woman, you're crazy, but you know me, so trust me. It's Terrazza Aperol in Campo Santo Stefano. So Aperol in September opened this place in Campo Santo Stefano.
I've been actually.
So I was sent to do a review for my job. And I remember writing to my editor and say, seriously, you sent me to Aperol? You know, come on, please. He said, Monica, try. And I got to say, I was there last night. I love it. The staff is so friendly. The food is very good because they got their own chef is a very famous chef from Venice, so it's very good. And the drinks are good. And people watching. Oh my God, it's so cool. It's a bit orangey. I agree. It's a bit orangey. But take that away. It's actually not. I was worried it was going to be all about the brand. And it's not. It's not. It's very Venetian. All the interiors, they used Venetian architects and Venetian artisans. It's good. I really like it. I really like it. So try it out and tell them I sent you, because now they even got my own drink. It's called Monica Thai. It's not my Thai anymore.
Well, look at you making your way.
I know.
So I have Bistro di Venice, Domori, and what was the third one?
Yeah, that was. What do you mean? Zanze.
And you put it at one on. You put it up.
No, Zanze didn't. I put the sperletto.
Okay.
Yes.
So how do you spell it?
Z-A. Z-A-N-Z-E.
Okay, so all three are now listed in the chat.
Yeah.
All right, Monica.
I see Sai said Aperol. Yes, she knew. She's been, so she knows what I'm talking about. How would you say Venetian?
How often would you say Venetian?
Okay, not often as you mean, as in not so much for restaurants, but they will go out practically always, like every day, to stop for the cicchetti and ombra. It's something that is like our aperitif before going home. So it's something that we do quite often.
It's also a wonderful way to socialize, right?
Yes,
I mean, you meet your friends, you get your business done.
Oh yeah,
well.
if I have to meet somebody, is when you meet in a cicchetti place with an ombra and some cicchetti. That's the way. I mean, today I did it for lunch with my friends. That's what you do. Eating, I would say we go often, but more like at the weekends, so Saturday and Sunday. And Venice is a bit, Venetians are a bit different from the rest of the countryside. So of course, because it's more expensive to go around eating Venice, rightly so. So I would say more at the weekends. Okay.
Thank you, Monica. It was so lovely to sit with you. I feel like the whole circle now, you know, from the lockdown interview.
Now you need a book, so I can interview you for the book.
How about that?
Okay. I'll give you 1 year.
Okay. Okay, sounds great. Thank you everyone for tuning in. It was really lovely to see you. And I'm really happy that some of you are starting our day with us. I only wish I could share this glass of wine and these cicchetti, but maybe we'll do that one day in person, hopefully. And thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to have you, Monica.
Thank you.
And good luck with the book. I hope there will be many more editions in many other languages coming in.
Yes. So, but write to me so I can tell my editor, look, I got already so many copies sold.
Yes. Okay. Sounds great. I see some people have a glass of wine in their hand. This is also perfect. All right. Grazie mille.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Monica's email.
Monica's email.
Yes.
Monica.
So is info. Where's your head sign there? Yeah. I got the wrong glasses, guys. So I hope you check that I'm typing it right, okay? Because I can't see.
Yes, I have it. You're perfect.
Yeah.
Info
Okay.
at monicacesarato.com.
And my website is www.myname.com. So it's quite easy.
And I will share it when I send the recording of this video.
And you can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and YouTube as well. Oh, where you
And LinkedIn.
You can see her.
And you're on LinkedIn as well, Monica.
Oh yes, I do, but I never use that one, Edna.
Oh, but you've got to come back, darling. I've got to check you there as well.
Okay, I'm gonna put above both, okay?
Yeah, then I'll share it for you.
Thank you.
I love our community.
Prego.
Oh, I love
Oh,
it.
bye.
Hi, Sai.
Grazie.
I can't wait to see you back.
Thank you.
See you in May.
Yes, see you. Ciao, cara.
Grazie, grazie everyone. Ciao.
Ciao.
Grazie, ciao.